battlers, and today we're doing some more Marsh Cup battles up against primativedoc, one of my patrons, and also DrTrotter later on in the video. Now we're going to be using Whimsicott in I think every battle in this video, because I just evolved it. We didn't even get enough candy to get the second move. It's just fresh evolved, and it is so powerful in this cup. It beats Galvantula, and it beats Sableye, and those are like the two meta-defining Pokemon in this cup. So being able to beat both of those is pretty huge, as well as like having some play up against the Mud Boys as well. It's really just sort of a jack of all trades and super powerful, and I kind of neglected it before now. So we swapped into a Alolan Muck to catch a charge move from the Cradily, and we got a shield with that Dark Pulse, and we foolishly decided to shield here. We're gonna like shield up the Grass Knot, because Alolan Muck isn't going to be able to get to a Dark Pulse before Cradily is going to get to another charge move. So we're just going to have to let Muck go down here, and we kind of just wasted a shield for no reason. Could have kept that for later on, but we're just going to bring in Sableye here because we kind of want to land Whimsicott up against that Gastrodon that was in primativedoc's lead. So we decided, hey, we'll bring in Sableye, get some energy up anyway. We're going to be able to tank any charge move that Cradily throws. It is a Grass Knot, which does do a fair chunk, but we're still going to have a lot of energy ready to throw. We'll see what does come in here, and in it comes the Gastrodon. So throwing that foul play, no funny business, just throw the energy, do some damage, and it does go through. So it doesn't do heaps, but we bring in the Whimsicott now, and just like, you know, it's really stacking up that damage onto the Gastrodon. But in comes the opposing Whimsicott, so now I've got Whimsicott versus Whimsicott. They've obviously got the health advantage because we already lost some health earlier, so they're going to be able to charm us down and just have a whole lot of energy to go up against our Sableye. So charm versus Sableye, gonna hurt. So we decide to burn the shield because we kind of have to, and we're hoping that we can Shadow Claw down before a charm lands. And unfortunately we had to get 2 Shadow Claws off, so the charm did take us out, or we got hit by 1 charm, and then Gastrodon finishes us off. So going into game 2, wanted to try out Toxicroak, which this is not where you want Toxicroak to be. We're gonna eat this first Icy Wind from the Drifblm just so we can kind of get that energy out of the way, and then we're gonna swap into our Galvantula just to put some pressure onto this Drifblm. Not really in a great spot here, but then in comes Lantern. Now Lantern, it has the water and electric typing, so it's not as bad as just a pure water type, but still not gonna like Galvantula at all. And we get a shield with Lunge there, so this is a really good matchup for us. And it kind of makes me think that primativedoc has 3 Pokemon weak to Galvantula here. So we're going to let this Thunder come through. Now Thunder is definitely the wrong move. You want to have Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump. And turns out primativedoc he noticed it just didn't had the wrong moves on this Lantern, but he's going to go straight for that discharge. Does go through, and we should be able to farm down here. We actually might have had to burn it. We would have had to burn a shield, I think, if we just decided to farm down. So go for the Lunge just to like definitely take it out and keep that Galvantula around, since we figured it had decent matchups all round. Now primativedoc brings out Galvantula of his own, which isn't like weak to Galvantula at all, but it definitely would have hurt to bring that into our Galvantula when it had the energy advantage. And we land the Lunge, which just does so much damage because Galvantula is so like squishy. So we let that Lunge come through, take us out. We can kind of bring in either peak here. We decided to bring in Toxicroak, just because we don't really want to see Toxicroak up against Drifblm. So hey, we'll use up this energy somewhere where it's useful, take some damage from the Volt Switches, and then we can swap into Whimsicott when the Drifblm comes out. We still have 2 shields here, so we definitely we're looking pretty good. Gonna burn 1 shield, and it was the Shadow Ball. Not even going for the Icy Winds, just trying to I guess just trying to hope that we didn't shield that move. That was probably like the 1 win condition. But anyway, going into game 3, we've got Gengar up against Whimsicott, which isn't a great matchup for Gengar just because we are like pretty squishy, similar to Galvantula. But we're still going to be able to get a nice chunk of damage off with these Shadow Punches. Gets 1 shield off, and then swapping out into Gastrodon. So I'm not really sure what the plan was with that switch out. Maybe it was just like an aggressive swap, putting out a whole lot of damage, and it did put out a whole lot of damage. Like in primativedoc, we had some lag, so I wasn't able to get the Shadow Punch off, and then we probably would have switched out after throwing the Shadow Punch, but yeah, didn't work out for us. So swapping into Whimsicott, just going to try and charm down. Another charge move coming through here, so we're going to have to burn a shield to keep our Whimsicott around. It's a Body Slam, and then down goes the Gastrodon, and then in comes... it's the Chandelure. So I thought it was going to be a Alolan Muck based on the Ghost Fire typing. But yeah, Chandelure is definitely an interesting one. Takes a lot of damage because it's like uber mega squishy. Like its squish levels are insane. So it definitely takes a lot of damage from like Grass Knot, which should not be doing damage to a fire ghost type at all. But in comes Whimsicott, and yeah, it's pretty much GG's at this point. We're going to get charmed down, and yeah, that is GG. So thanks for the battles, primativedoc. And also, so we're going to take the Gastrodon that primativedoc was using and use it up against DrTrotter. So me and DrTrotter did do teams, and I'll have our teams of 6 in the description below for these set of battles. But yeah, we're going to use Whimsicott, and we're going to use Gastrodon in these battles. So Whimsicott up against Whiscash, a pretty nice place to be. We just don't want to get hit by a Blizzard, so he's got some energy which we have to be careful of, and we bring in the Gastrodon. Gastrodon is in such a great spot up against the Alolan Mark. We can basically just Mud Slap down. We don't want to get hit by too many Shadow Balls. If we got hit by one, so we can't get hit by another one. Kind of thinking, oh, do we throw some energy to kind of make sure this is a sure thing? But we burn a shield here, and then we can probably just Mud Slap down at this point. And that is the sheer power of Gastrodon. Just, it can win so many matchups without throwing any energy, just with shields. We do decide to throw the Body Slam there because we were a little bit nervous about a Bone Club coming through. But one more Mud Slap and down will go the Marowak. So really good job there. Gastrodon has definitely done its job and not left too much health to farm from DrTrotter's side either. So that's definitely good. Plus we get this Body Slam spam off. Bring down the Whiscash even more, and actually it turns out it was a CMP tie. So really good for us that we can get that energy off before that Mud Bomb came through, trying to deny us the energy that we built up, and swapping out into Sableye. What a disastrous blind swap. Trying to keep that Whiscash healthy and not get hit by anything from Whimsicott. Unfortunately for DrTrotter, yeah, this isn't where you want it to be, so we bring in the Alolan Muck just to try and like eat up Sableye's energy, because we figured, hey, we kind of want to keep Whimsicott around in case Alolan Muck isn't going to have a great time up against Whiscash. We just didn't want it to make sure that we won, because we had no shields to DrTrotter's too. But it's a GG's at this point. We probably could have stayed in. But yeah, hit my Mud Bomb, which we're going to survive. And then DrTrotter would have to throw out another Mud Bomb to be able to take us out before we threw this energy. So really putting a lot of pressure onto him here. Burns that last shield, and then we have the Grass Knot ready to go in Whimsicott, so we just have to swap out and get there, and we get to that second Dark Pulse, and this is going to be a GG's. So DrTrotter definitely had the energy there, ready to go for the Blizzard. Unfortunately, we just were able to take it out first. So going to the next battle up against DrTrotter, we've got Gastrodon against Galvantula. We are just winning these leads left, right, and center, and in comes the Ferrothorn, and then we're like, okay, Gastrodon would probably be pretty good up against Ferrothorn, but we really want to keep that for that Galvantula matchup. So we bring in our Galvantula, get hit by Thunder, which is going to do a fair chunk of damage, and then throw the Lunge. So this isn't going to do like tons of damage because it's the bug's, the Grass Steel typing. Steel typing is kind of going to reduce that weakness to Bug, which is, you know, pretty good for Ferrothorn. Not great for Galvantula here, but we just figure, hey, we're going to win this matchup at all costs, burn the shields, and Thunder is a fair bit of energy from the Ferrothorn. I may be suspecting that we wouldn't shield in case it was like a Power Whip, because Power Whip would still do a fair bit because Galvantula is so squishy, but takes it out, and then in comes the Whiscash. And the interesting thing about Whiscash, if you saw my Galvantula kind of meta deep dive video, Galvantula actually beats Whiscash in the one shield, like neutral start, which obviously isn't the case here. We've already lost a lot of health, so we're happy to let Galvantula go down at this point. Not going to be winning this one shield by any means, and then we're going to bring in the Whimsicott. We know that we want to keep that Gastrodon for the Galvantula later, so we're like, hey, we're happy here, and we're like, okay, this could be a Blizzard, so we're going to shield up here. We really want to keep our Pokemon where they want to be. We want to keep Whimsicott up against Whiscash, and we want to keep Gastrodon up against the Galvantula. So you swap into Gastrodon there to tank this Blizzard, catch it perfectly there, so fantastic move there. One Mud Slap, take it out, and then in comes the Galvantula, which isn't it's kind of a rough spot actually. I'm wondering if we're going to lose this matchup, just because we kind of did take a lot of damage on a Gastrodon now. We're not going to be able to get to another Body Slam before, yeah, just not able to get a Body Slam off before a charge move comes through from the Galvantula. So we get hit by a Lunge, going to take us out, and then we get this Grass Knot off on the Whimsicott, and now I'm like, okay, we actually do have a fair bit of health on this Whimsicott. That Grass Knot does so much damage because, again, Galvantula is not squishy, and yeah, takes it out with one more charm. And last battle of the video, we've got Drifblm up against Whiscash, which is a pretty good spot. Again, we just don't want to get hit by a Blizzard, and we kind of want to land this Shadow Ball. And by the way, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for a whole lot of silver content. But I land the Shadow Ball, which is pretty huge. And I think we tried to swap out there and it wasn't going through. I'm not sure if that was the case, or we just decided like, oh, it might be a Mud Bomb bait. We just let it come through, but yeah, not a Mud Bomb bait. Hoping to charm down before a charge move came through. Unfortunately, not going to happen. And we do get hit by a Mud Bomb, so lucky it wasn't a Blizzard. We were pretty sure it wasn't a Blizzard, but I'm not the best at counting, so you never know. In comes the Alolan Marowak, and at this point I'm kind of like, ah dear, this isn't great. Swap into Marowak, and in comes another blind swap for DrTrotter. It's the Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn not going to like this matchup at all against Alolan Marowak. Double effective here. So his Marowak did have the energy advantage, so I'm kind of thinking that he could have maybe pulled the game out if he just stayed in and didn't blind swap. Could have come at, like, it would have been very bait dependent, like who threw what move, who shields what move, but his Marowak could have beaten mine, and then it would have been our Whimsicott up against the like weak Marowak, and a Ferrothorn, which is still kind of not a great matchup for Ferrothorn, but it's still definitely pretty good. So we shield off the Bone Club there, go for the Shadow Ball. We still have a shield, so it doesn't really matter. Even if DrTrotter got to a charge move there and threw it, we would be able to get this Shadow Ball off. Get rid of that Alolan Marowak, and that is GG. So thank you to both primativedoc and DrTrotter for the battles. I'll link to DrTrotter's Twitch channel in the description below. Another Aussie content creator, makes a whole lot of Sylph and some GBL content as well. So yeah, definitely go check him out. Give him a follow. Let him know that PvP Steve sent ya. But yeah, thank you to my patrons, Time9458, brajSF, -Ben10, or Newman, Yahwertle, SqeakyNL, charizardyong, and primativedoc for supporting the channel on Patreon. It has been a little bit slow on videos here, but I guess I am a busy man. Thanks to Sadie for the Twitch emote, Ready4 for 500 subs, as well as Oscalicious and primativedoc for the Twitch sub. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already checked out the meta simplified infographic, you can click up there to watch that one, and then down there as well for the Galvantula deep dive. And yeah, I will see you in the next Marsh Cup video. Catch you later, skater.